Plaintiff Lana Stillwell met the defendant when she saw his band perform, and she was inspired by his life story. Lana claims the defendant had a rough childhood, but he turned his life around through his love of music. However, Lana's suing him today for the balance due on 2 unpaid loans. Defendant Moses Jones says from the age of 15 through 18, he was living in his car, but he managed to work a full-time job and graduate high school. Moses admits that he was incarcerated for auto theft, but once he was released, he started a new life.
Start with you.
Okay, I met Moses Jones in 2015 when I went to see his band with some friends. The performance was wonderful. I had a great time. I happened to meet him that time at the performance, and we exchanged emails.
How did that come about, meeting him?
Meeting him, actually he had messaged my group. I brought a group there, and he had messaged my group. And so I knew of him, I talked to him, and I went to see him backstage. Because
okay, so he expected you.
Right, he expected me, yes, yes. So after meeting him, I talked to him quite a bit after that, via email, telephone, and I was impressed because he seemed like a very nice individual. I learned also that he had grown up with having had a tough time growing up. He was living in his car or vehicle since the age of 14. He was in and out of jail due to auto theft, but he was able to bring himself out of that through his music and a lot of work and dedication, and
good.
I was very impressed and admired him for that.
More of Judge Mathis when we return. Defendant Moses Jones is being sued by his former friend, who claims she was inspired that Moses turned his life around after being incarcerated for auto theft.
You want to give me some background before we get into the specifics?
So pretty much, I mean, I went through being homeless and got out of that situation.
How?
As far as I lived in my car from the age of 15 to the age of 18, worked a full-time job, went to high school, graduated, and still in California, just wasn't enough, you know, working at a restaurant to provide myself with my own place. So I saw friends, you know, rolling around with nice cars or rolling around having places to go. So I was like, man, I want to have a place to stay, a stable place. And so they showed me how to take cars and things like that. After I got busted and did time, I found this was not where I wanted to be at. And so when I got out, I got off parole and picked a spot on the map. And it's at Colorado. So I've heard of the
What city in Colorado?
Denver.
Oh, okay, I
So
love Denver. I lived there for a year.
Oh,
Went
cool,
to
man.
Metro State College and everything.
I know right where that is.
Yeah, go ahead.
And, but yeah, I came out there, put a spot on the map. 4 days later, I was like, I'm moving. So I drove out there, got out in Denver. I was like, okay, now what? I had no plan, didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted to get far away from, you know, trouble or getting back into that. I worked real hard at that point just to make as much as I could. Eventually, I put my band together, Moses Jones Band, and 12-piece band. We normally go out.
Name it after yourself.
Yes.
Pretty big ego.
No ego at all.
I'm just kidding. But the name of my show is Judge Mathis.
He's like, hey.
So your ego's no bigger than mine. So if your ego's big, mine is too. So
We can say that, man.
go ahead. So the band, obviously, you all have been experiencing some success.
Yes, we've been together since 2009,
Good.
and we're still together, still performing lots of weddings.
Oh, right.
Got nominated for 4 Hollywood Music Awards and 2 Nashville Music Awards with
Really?
WCD.
Oh, right. Great success story. You see why I tell you to give me some background so other people can get inspired? Good to hear that. So you have a lot of folks who are still incarcerated who now have a little more hope because of what you have just said about your background. And how do you know the plaintiff?
There was a performance we had in Longmont, and I put up there was a meetup group that I knew. And, meetup groups bring lots of singles, and they go out to see shows, and they bring lots of numbers. So as a band, you know, you want as many people as you can. So
Maybe I mean clarify a little more because you sound like you're describing y'all pursuing groupies. You say you get a lot of numbers.
No, it's promotion. So I
You
mean,
find single women,
no.
and they end up backstage. That's what you just said.
That's what I heard.
Go ahead.
But they came out and supported us because they had never seen us. So they really didn't know what to expect except for videos. And I met Lana. She came out. She was dancing. She had a great time. And she just loved it. And so she met me at the end of the night because she was...
Where?
Backstage.
So let's... All right, man. What? All right. Tell me about the loans, man.
Okay. Back in 2015, I made 2 loans to Moses, and they totaled $30 to $50.
What were they for?
One was for rent. He was about ready to get kicked out, and I felt really bad for him.
Rock and roll is up and down.
It is. It really is. And the other was for several tickets, airline tickets, for him and his band to go to, I believe it was Los Angeles, to play at a festival.
Okay.
So that's what they were for.
When was he to repay you?
Within a couple of weeks. At the time I bought the airline tickets, he said that he had an event booked, but he was just waiting on the deposit. At that time, I took that to mean that it was pretty solid. Now I've learned that really that doesn't mean it's
So that was
solid.
2015.
Right.
What has happened since that time in terms of you requesting your money and him
Yes, I've
responding?
requested
What
my
type
money.
of game has he
He
given
made-
you, if any?
Yeah, he made the 3 payments totaling $390
All right.
back in
So it wasn't total
2015.
game. He gave you some of your money back.
Yeah, $390.
All right. And then
And nothing since but promises.
what has he said when you
He has
asked?
said, I'll pay you back. He said, I'll send you $100 in the beginning of the month. He recently said, I'll send you $100. It's in the mail.
Okay.
And
All right, so you think he should at least get credit for the $390 though?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Judge Mathis will be right back.
Telling it like it is.
She was an exotic dancer.
It's all about the money.
What are you talking about? What you think it's about when you go to a strip club?
Judge Mathis.
Is your ex seeking child support, but you think you need a paternity test? Call 1-888-VERDICT or visit us online at www.judgemathistv.com. Defendant Moses Jones is being sued by his former friend, who claims she was inspired that Moses turned his life around after being incarcerated for auto theft.
All right, Sarge, what do you say?
Well, yes, I don't agree. I owe her. She paid for band tickets for my band to go to L.A., but the festival got canceled.
Okay.
Not a problem. But we were talking, and this was in October 29, 2015, where she has a climate control business, or she was thinking about writing and doing a lot of writing for it, and she needed a website. You know, since I do web design, social media marketing, and stuff like that, she said, hey, I found a way that you can kind of pay your loan off. They're really, you know, because I know you don't really have a whole lot right now. And so this is a website. So I was like, hey, I can totally do it for you. She said, how much will you charge? I was like, I normally charge $500 for just a basic site, but it can go anywhere from there.
So did you do it?
Yes, I built the site, but then I found out that she didn't want the, she wasn't interested in doing the climate control website no more. And so
After you did it?
yeah, and so I feel like, you know,
Ma'am, you left that
No.
part out.
No, that's fantasy. That's why. He tells a good story.
There was never a discussion about?
There was a discussion about it.
Well, it's not all fantasy.
Well, most of it's fantasy. What happened was I was building this website.
Mm-hmm.
He talked to me. I was having a real problem with WordPress. He says, I can help you with WordPress. I can even build you a website. I said, no, thank you. I don't need it. This is volunteer. He never showed me any website that he
Did you all
supposed-
ever come to an agreement? You're missing
No.
that. You
No.
never agreed to deduct $500.
Absolutely not.
All right, good enough. And obviously you don't have any evidence. I know she wouldn't sit up here and tell me that.
I have text messages.
Let's see. You have a text message where she agreed to that. Let me take these glasses off. Get some better glasses. I'm sitting up here trying to be cute.
Because it's not there.
Trying to be cute and can't read with them. All right. I was thinking we could deduct the costs from your loan, and eventually you could work it off. Would that be okay? Cool. We are on the same page. You recall any of that, Matt?
No, but I don't have a very good memory.
All right.
But we,
well,
no, seriously,
unfortunately,
I
your
don't.
memory cost you this case. Have a good day. Your claim is dismissed.
Moses! You know you owe me. I can't believe you did this to me. Thanks a lot.